Characteristics of the lost. 1. Our unsaved friends are lost. John 3:16. Therefore, don't expect regenerate behavior from them. Accept them in their lostness. Pray that our hearts will be moved by their lostness. 2. They are spiritually dead. Ephesians 2:1. Therefore, expect they will misunderstand the gospel. Live the gospel before them. 3. Their emotions are influenced by their flesh and their culture. Galatians 5:19-21. Therefore, anticipate conflict. Expect to uncover relationship problems. Model commitment and faithfulness. 4. Their intellects are satanically deceived. Romans 1:22, 1 Corinthians 2:14. Anticipate rejection of our ideas as intellectually absurd. Don't expect intellectual debate to be fruitful. Know that people have different worldviews. Some reject the idea that there is a God, and others believe in many gods. If you can see things from their perspective, understanding why they see things the way they do, you will be more likely to influence them for God. We have accepted the idea that God is central, but those without him have no such idea, and so all their thoughts and decisions start from a different place and end in a different place to ours. Be understanding of this. We work from the inside out. Those who do not know the Lord will usually be distracted by what is on the outside, whereas God looks on the heart. We tend to judge ourselves by our intentions, but others by their actions. We should attempt to reverse this by discerning the person's real needs and by hearing the cry of their heart. God can judge the actions because he knows the hearts. The more like him we are, the easier it will be to represent him correctly. 5. Many are socially disillusioned. Therefore, plan on listening to lots of pain and hurt. Begin with the needs that they feel the most. Affirm them as valuable and offer them your friendship. 6. Some are economically deceived by possessions, position, and power. Therefore, model a lifestyle of contentment. Plan good times around simple, inexpensive activities. Be a gracious recipient of their kindness. 7. Some are economically disadvantaged. Therefore, affirm their worth and protect their dignity. Network them with social agencies which provide help. Include them in social activities that will not embarrass them. 8. Many are religiously unsophisticated. Therefore, let them explain their beliefs first without attacking them. Ask lots of thought-provoking questions. Be gentle, refusing to argue. 9. Many are suspicious and skeptical. Therefore, be slow to speak. Be sympathetic to their negative experiences. Be slow to judge. 10. Each one varies in their receptivity. Therefore, minimize barriers. Look for opportunities to serve. Look for opportunities to give. Love, love, love. Community map. Place the church at the center of your community map and draw lines out from the center so as to form a pie chart with each part of the pie being a segment of society that you have contact with. These social households form your sphere of influence, which we call your oikos. Examples of these are the educational community with its universities, schools, kindergartens, and vocational training centers, the inner-city community with its different interest groups and places of recreation, government agencies with its social departments, police force, fire brigade, etc., the prison system with the courts and the various prisons and prison agencies, recreational services with its parks, zoos, stadiums, and coffeehouses, the medical community with its old people's villages, hospitals, clinics, and counselors, the local neighborhood with its parties and local gatherings, as well as personal relationships, the transportation system with its trains, taxis, buses, boats, and airports, the arts community with its museums, theaters, and entertainment world, the business community with its industry, factories, and outlets including the large malls, etc. Different ways to show love. Begin by building friendships. Share a dinner together. Hold a group party or dinner in your neighborhood. Play fun games with neighbors. Go shopping together. Play sports games together as individuals or as a neighborhood. Go on a picnic with others. Watch a video together with neighbors. Love by serving. We can love unbelievers to Christ by building friendships and serving them. Listed below are a few activities that we can use to develop relationships and to meet needs. Add to this list any personal thoughts that you may have. babysitting for free, clean up the rubbish in your community, coach the local children at sport, help with outdoor projects, give mechanical, technical, or computer advice, or teaching in the arts including music lessons. Look after lonely people. Give out invitations at Christmas and Easter time. Look after pets or houses when people are on holidays. Cook a meal for new neighbors. Provide dinner for someone in the event of family illness or death. Offer to pray for people when they have a need. Love by listening. What do Prov 18:13 and James 1:19 teach about reaching out to unbelievers? One of the most powerful ways to express love to unbelievers is to genuinely listen to them. If unbelievers sense that we want to quickly fix their problems, dispense advice, stuff the Bible down their throats, or that they are your evangelism project, they are apt to get angry or defensive. On the other hand, as we listen with non-judgmental acceptance, we show respect for who they are, what they think, feel, and believe. Over a period of time, a bridge of trust is built that allows them to share their heart and reveal their needs. It provokes spiritual openness. At some point, we may be privileged to cross that bridge and share the gospel. Here are a few practical active listening skills. Give full attention to the person talking. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say when the other person stops talking. It is helpful to reflect back to them what you are hearing as follows. Let me see if I understand you correctly. Am I correct in saying? So, the major concern you have right now is, I thought I heard you say. You are feeling, because, you seem to be feeling, thinking. It appears, are you saying, don't interrupt, butt in, or complete someone's sentences for them. Ask for clarification of details where necessary, but discipline your curiosity. Let your eyes speak. Love by asking questions. Sometimes asking questions can express sensitivity and genuine concern. This is especially the case when you have a growing relationship with the person already. We don't want to be perceived as a police sergeant conducting an interrogation. However, a few well-chosen questions can be a non-threatening way to initiate spiritual conversation. Help us connect with people at the appropriate places in their spiritual journey, and help us gauge where the Holy Spirit is already working in their lives. It is best to avoid questions that allow just a yes-no answer. We call these type of questions closed questions. Open-ended questions stimulate conversation by encouraging the other person to open up and talk about the details of the situation. Questions that provoke further conversation are much better. Sometimes you can combine different types of questions to engage the other person in meaningful conversation. Ask a question, and then, if the person doesn't open up enough by themselves, you can follow up with a question like, tell me more, or can you expand on that a bit more by telling me what actually happened then? Or can you tell me how that happened, or what else happened at that time? Open-ended questions will often contain one of the 6 helper words, i.e., what, with whom, where, how, why, when. Following are some example questions that you might use. Some simply offer an opportunity for a yes-no answer. If this is the case, they should be followed up with open-ended question that gives them a chance to elaborate on their yes-no answer. If you meet a dead end, you can offer a personal testimony that is relevant to your question, and then ask them what they think of your experience, giving an opportunity for further dialogue. Are you interested in spiritual things? If they say no, then you could ask what they are interested in and get them to tell you about it. Have you ever thought about becoming a real Christian? If they say no, then you could share your testimony. If someone were to ask you, what is a real Christian? How would you answer? This gives them a chance to think and to air their view. Have you ever personally trusted Christ, or are you still on the way? Have you had any experiences in life where you were helped to get through something and felt that it may have been God guiding you? If the answer was no, then you could share a testimony of how He has helped you and that you are no more worthy than them. He wants to help us all. This can lead you to further explain the gospel. If the person has had such an experience, you could ask, do you think then that if God helped you, then that He might have been wanting you to know Him better? If so, then would you like to know Him better? Again, you can share testimony of how He has helped you when you trusted Him. Do you desire to open your life to God? Follow up with an open-ended question or a testimony that they can identify with. Have you ever felt God's closeness in your life? If so, then you can share how this is an invitation to know Him. You can then share the 4 truths and talk about how to pray. If you could ask God for anything right now, what would it be? If they have ever known God, then you can ask, where are you in your relationship with Christ today? I have found that life is a journey, either towards God or away from Him. Can I ask, where are you on this spiritual journey? Have you ever thought of following God? Would you like to start responding to Him from today? If the answer is no, then you could ask, what would need to happen for you to turn towards Him? How do you feel about God? How do you feel about life after death? How do you feel about the church? How do you feel about your early childhood religious training, etc.? Do you believe in God? If their answer is yes, then ask, what is the nature of your relationship with Him? What hinders you from personally trusting in Jesus? Do you have a particular reason for not going to church? If the person's answer is yes, then you might respond by saying, would you like to talk about it? You can talk about the benefits of finding the right kind of church by asking them, if you could design the ideal church, what would it look like? What do you think you could do to make the church a better place for people? If you could ask God one question, what would it be? Timing is important, whether you are harvesting fruit or reaping souls. If you pick something too soon, it may never ripen. On the other hand, if you don't pick it when it is ripe, it will spoil and go to waste. We can use questions to uncover felt needs and to gauge people's spiritual openness just as Jesus did. The above insight on forming your oikos came my way by means of some unnamed A4 pages. I would like to acknowledge the unknown author for their valuable input on this subject. I have made some modifications to the original text purely to help clarify some points. Many of the above questions are closed questions, but they can still open the door to your asking open questions, which make for two-way dialogue. You may ask the person to enlarge on their answer, or you may say something like this. Apparently, you have some reason for feeling that way. May I ask what it is? This is a less confrontational way of asking, why is that? Or you might say, can you tell me more about your reason for feeling that way?